All right. Good morning. Happy Monday. What is going on, everyone? I hope we're having a great one out there so far. Pretty crazy morning in the market. SPY sitting right at a huge rejection point. Huge resistance, close to 638. Technically rejecting more around 638.50 here in pre-market. But good morning. KT Options, Juan, Steve, Midnight, Xavier, Mr. Woo, My Views, Pat Rack. I like that. Jake, Autumn, Chill, Huncho, Elton, Joe Papa. Elton said Tesla is popping. Or pumping. Yeah, nice jump. Up to 340. Okay. Look at that. They're actually starting to get above their wedge. That's pretty great for Tesla here. Wow, the end of this wedge is proving to play out pretty well. Yeah, Autumn, crazy. That's a crazy jump by them. 340 coming into play. Bank of America jumping up a little bit, 46.11, up 0.2%. Boeing, everybody's favorite airline maker. BMNR, another 24%. Gapped up in a pretty crazy way again. Wow. No, 11%. Sorry, my watch list didn't update. BMNR. Tempting to move. I'm going to pull it up in a second, Autumn. We'll run through a couple. My Thinkorswim crashed on me, sadly. Literally just now. Of course. Nvidia going to go to 175. Let's see. Nvidia. Won't load up even. That must be a popular ticker for TradingView today. That's kind of funny. Let's try a 5 minutes. That's hilarious. It won't work. Other stocks are working fine. Yeah. Palantir works, down 1.6%. It's a pretty bad move by Palantir today. I'm with you here, Juan, or Jason. WTF Palantir. Pretty nasty sell-off. It does seem pretty overextended, if I'm being honest. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, it's about time, I guess, for Palantir. It's really not that crazy. It's going to happen at some point, right? Definitely different than the usual PA forum, though. Yeah, it looks terrible, Midnight. I see people are looking at Intel this morning. It's popping back. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. But yeah, Intel was on fire this morning. I was going to say, let's pull up the news. I'm still trying to get back in. There we go. Now we should be all good. Still won't load up NVIDIA. It's pissing me off. All right, Thinkorswim, get your ass open. Let's turn on NVIDIA here. There we go. Pulling back a little bit. Down 1% today. Turn it on to a 5-minute chart. Pretty steep pullbacks overall. Big red candles on the 5-minute. It is holding 180, though. That is a good point. You guys did say lots of buyers at 180. I do not know that. Is Alex Karp scheduled to meet with Trump? Let's see that Intel news. Intel CEO to meet with Trump. Gonna visit the White House Monday. Lip Bhutan. This is pretty bad. Trump's calling for him to step down, so this could be pretty rough for Intel. It does seem like that they're popping, though, in the short term ahead of this meeting. Up over 5% today, moving above $21 right now. Look at the daily chart. They're coming back off support in a fantastic fashion. Here's our Mag 7 setup here. Apple's down quite a bit, down 2%. Juan said Mag 7's all red. Amazon, Microsoft, Google. The only thing green is Tesla. Everything else is red. That's pretty rough. Yeah, that is pretty rough right there. Amazon, man, they're all down. No kidding. Let's go check out Microsoft. They're starting to bleed off on the daily quite a bit. Past couple candles have been kind of slow. Pretty stagnant, I would say, but it is starting to pull back a little bit. Like $520. Wow, that's actually a perfect bounce today. This is a good area. We're seeing great movement. Okay. That's pretty good price action, if we're being honest. Off of this zone. Tessie still extending. I guess they're slowing up slightly here on the 1 minute, but Nvidia still will not load. That is so weird. What is going on there? At least it's coming back here. 1 minute. Trying to make a comeback. It bounced just ahead of 180. That is going to be a big area to watch for. Let's see the book map on Nvidia at 180. I bet that there's quite a bit. 196,000 shares. That's the biggest area around here. 179 has like 109,000. 183 has 109,000. So not that crazy compared to 196,000. But still, even those other areas are pretty large. AI is down 30%. Wow. What happened here, Autumn? Let's see. AI. They reported preliminary Q1 revenue guidance results. Davidson downgraded the stock from neutral to underperform and lowered the price target from 25 to 13. Holy crap. That's like essentially where they dropped to. UBS cuts the target too. That's not good. Preliminary results for its July quarter after the close on Friday, and they were ugly, with revenue around $70.3 million, coming in around 33% below its previous guidance. Damn, that's terrible. D.A. Davidson said the results were catastrophic. Very strange here. AMC rose. AMC popped 5% after they reported earnings. Pretty nice jump. AMC beat out AI. That's funny. Obviously, anything can happen on any given report, but Tilray is leading the watch list. I don't know if you guys saw that with the pot stocks today. Anybody check this out with the pot stocks? Trump was talking about rescheduling. Let's go to marijuana moment or whatever. Trump DOJ asked Supreme Court to uphold ban on marijuana users owning guns. Uh-oh. Here we go. Trump says he's gonna look at marijuana as White House Chief of Staff receives rescheduling reports. This is pretty huge right here. Susie Wiles has requested key agencies to submit their positions on cannabis rescheduling. CNN citing two sources who said those responses now sit in a report on her desk after having been compiled by the Domestic Policy Council. Yeah, I'm curious what they end up doing with marijuana. I know Trump's not a big marijuana guy, so that's probably not going to be one of the top things out there, but man, CGC, Tilray, MJ, MSOS, I mean, they are all moving this morning. Go to the daily chart. Look at how they've actually been coming up recently. I wonder if somebody might have known. Somebody might have known this here. We've been seeing these stocks kind of pump out of nowhere without a lot of news recently, so been a bit strange. Planet 13. AMD's looking real good, Mr. Wu said. Advanced money dispenser. Running up here, 173. It does look pretty solid on the recovery, but it just barely recovered back to Friday's closing price, just about. Trump's holding a press conference, like at this second. Or just later today. Need more context. Saw old man Phil yesterday. He piped one. There we go. You got to go see Phil. How about Bryson? And I saw you saw DJ. Man, it was raining. I saw too. That looked brutal. Bryson had a terrible day. Really? Man. Tessie's crushing it right now. 340, 250. Killing it at the moment. Isaac, the spy, kind of flat and brutal. Trying to hold a key support from Friday around 630, 680, 637. Holding so far this morning, but not the best PA. I kind of lean more down here today. Especially ahead of CPI tomorrow. Like, CPI is going to be a huge deal. 1 hour before open, so be ready for that. Here's the inflation rate. It's been kind of rising the past few readings. If we see it get up towards like 2.93%, it's going to be looking a bit brutal. Let me refresh this actually so I can see if they're still forecasting. Okay. They are expecting that core rate to go up a little bit, which isn't the best thing to see. Today is Mike Eve. Yeah, Mike will be back tomorrow, guys. I believe. It downpoured for like 3 minutes. Oh, thank God. That would have been brutal all day. SoFi, big money play? I'm just kidding. I know what you mean, Jason. SoFi 2270. I had the same thing go on here, Mason. I had the same exact thing. Here's SoFi. Yeah, it was weird. It felt like Florida. Rum is up 17%. Rumble. Let's see. RUM. I hope you saw your book map there. Rumble 9.40. 16%. That's solid. That's a pretty good jump. I like $9.50. That's a solid resistance overhead too. 9.50. If we see a breakout there, that could be pretty fire. All right, I got to do a poll today. Hang on, wait, somebody asked me something about SPY really quick. XYZ is red, Mason said. Block? Oh my gosh, all the way down from earnings. I know, that was terrible. He said, man, that stock is great for calls that open, then it goes red real quick. I can't believe it how it's been moving since earnings the other day. Tom, do you think UNH will drop and fill the gap at 251 or fill the one at 279? Drop and fill the gap at 251. Let's see the gap. Okay, I see what you're looking at. It's not that big of a gap. Fill the one at 279. Let's see. I do almost feel like it's trying to go for a 279 fill, if I was being honest. But by the time it gets to the fill, like, it could run into resistance right here, dip back down, fill this gap, and then finally get up there. I mean, it's a little tough to say in that scenario, but I do almost lean on UNH possibly trying to make a short-term comeback here, given the overall price action. Now, would I be surprised if they kept falling? No, but they are trying to recover up in the short term. I do think, though, that it will run into resistance more around like 260 to 265 before we hit 270 and 280. and more of up into this range. I don't see like a full-blown recovery. Maybe something more of even just like this. You know, where it just like slowly chops around, tries to come up. Kind of like even like right here. Strange jump on SoFi. Pretty good move on the 1 minute there, up 2.5%. It's pretty awesome. My view says I'm in circle calls. Profit target 163 and then 164.46. Are you just trying to target the high of day here? Or did you already hit your target? Because that hit your target pretty perfectly. Good question though, Owen. You know, we always like looking at anything, so thanks for throwing it out. You to test all-time highs. It's getting close. You're right. It pretty much is going to. Pointing to the upside in a pretty awesome way. This is pretty amazing. Sorry, guys, just taking care of some stuff in the background really quick. I do love the chart on energy fuels, though. One of my favorite stocks in the short term. SMR is another one that I really like. Go look at the daily of them, though. They're pulling back a lot harder here. Some of these nuclear stocks are starting to turn over quite hard. Hims broke down again. Yikes, Ryan said. Hims and hers. Yep, coming back. Wow, it ran up to a new all-time high. Kind of fake traders out up there. Roaring back down now. That is kind of rough, isn't it? Hims breaking down again. Looking at the daily on Hims, I mean, I would think it could trade towards $46 to $45 here over the next few trading days. That is pretty brutal there. Hims looking rough. Tesla looking a lot better. 3.36. I've been loving to see that Tesla breakout today. That's been pretty amazing. Getting actually up and out of this big channel, this big wedge. Making up the poll right now for the CPI data tomorrow. I'm doing a special poll today. All right. The poll's a bit different today. So there's going to be 4 options, okay? Will CPI data show inflation rising or falling, maybe flat? Will stocks pop or drop? So we have 4 different options here. We either have stocks pop, higher inflation, stocks pop, low inflation, stocks drop, high inflation, or stocks drop, low inflation. Because there's honestly 2 sides of the scenario there. You know, there could be a situation where maybe stocks pop on maybe slightly higher inflation. There could be situations where stocks drop on high inflation, right? It's tough. You know, there's a lot of different scenarios. People are out there looking at rate cut opportunities and things like that. Just vote how you feel necessary. If it confuses you, then don't feel the need to vote. I think most of you will get it though. SPY just hanging between 637, 637.50, Autumn said. Truly is. Yeah, seriously. Very stuck since opening today. It's a W for Wumbo. That's Mason's favorite word. That's what he says after he hits a good drive. I'm glad you at least know what it is. I know we've talked about that one before, though. Whoa! He was slamming his driver on the tee box. That's always nice. I'll give mine like maybe one little love tap or something, but... Oh, he put a big dent in it. I like it whenever they do that and they break the club. It'll be released tomorrow, 1 hour before open, Winston. Yeah, SPY is very stuck here. Go check on NVIDIA. At least it loads now. All the way back up after that initial drop-off at open. Bounced close to 180 where there was a huge buy wall. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're right, Mason. I wouldn't give a shit about it either if I could just go get a brand new one right away. Didn't even think about that. But that makes a lot of sense. What's up, KO? Good morning. Chill said Wumbology. That's what Mason studied in college. How's Tilray again? Checking back in on the pot stocks. Falling off? Like, really? ACB, CGC, both kind of down too. ACB is not terrible. We were thinking about MU today. What are we thinking? Let's see. 127. Nice jump. 4% on the day. I love the overall move. It kind of sucks now that since open, it just looked terrible. It's done nothing but drop. That's Kind of strange. I like how it's like triple bottoming though, around like 123, 123.50. That's solid. Big is trying to jump a tiny little bit, Autumn said. Figma, 5.11%. We're going to check back in on BMNR here, too, which has been pretty crazy in the short term. Love to see that action. From open, they've been great. 23.7%. That is sick. What a move. BMNR should have been bought at 35, Owen said. Yeah. A few days ago, it was trading around 30. Honestly, like 32 to 35. I feel ya. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? What's up with Fly? Oh, dying. That is kind of rough there. Brutal pullback. I gotta go see Figma. At least Figma's holding 80 for now. Some people are getting very lucky. If Figma starts to have another leg down here underneath 76.50, I think that the sell-off is going to get bad. It really needs to hold here. If you guys are just now joining up, destroy that like button. Let's go. Get it up for the algo today. Owen says it looks like a double bottom. You think so? Personally, I don't think so here. Not on the daily, but maybe if you zoom in on like an hourly, I like it. You can see it better. Almost looks like a face. Hope you guys like that. I don't do that very often. Circle's on a nice run. Hey, nice by them again today. Yeah, not bad. Great run up to 170. Look at the daily on them. Now, the daily looks a bit worse, but they had this great move on kind of a small daily candle. That's just how crazy Circle's been. The average percent rise ever since it came on the market is 10%. So on average, if it has a green day, it goes up 10.5% on that green day. That's pretty nuts. But keep in mind, they haven't traded for very long. Only since June 5th. So we're talking 2 months of data. And it got skewed by a couple of these days that were like, I don't even know how good. 100% or something? Let's see. No. That was dumb to say. 35%. So, you know, it gets skewed a little bit, but overall, pretty insane. Yeah, the MU momentum play for sure. MU to the upside past 120. The problem is that the move happened in pre-market, right? That made it a little hard to trade. So if you do see something like that happen, you can actually use that as a good support level. So if we do see MU fall and then they touch 120 today, you could use that as a level to buy off of. Other than that, you're going to be needing to look at momentum. Like right now, MU's trying to come up off of this dip. It's trying to get back up. But it doesn't really have the best momentum ever. But it's okay, right? Like if you were going to take a momentum trade right now and you were looking at it up and you entered right here and it breaks under 123, you probably need to cut so that as it gets into this dead zone, you know, you're not realizing a bunch of loss throughout that. So you can always re-enter later in the day. But that's kind of my big thought. If you're trying to enter in right here into some calls, I would definitely cut below this blue line at the 123 mark. And then overall, there has been good momentum on the run up today. So we might not get that 120 retest. That's why I'm looking at this possibly being a bottom here. Again, though, it might not be. So you need to be prepared for that. But I do like 120 as support. If there is a test of 120 today, I think you could have a pretty good buy range there. Give me one moment. Sorry about that. I'm always hearing banging around. I guess my daughter's just going nuts out there. I don't know. I swear, Autumn, it sounds like people are like jumping off of couches and stuff. Let me go back to MU, delete the sign. All right, Tesla. Holding its ground at 339. That is solid. Like to see it holding there. Pushing up towards 340. We might start to see a breakout come into play. Owen said, Tom, would you use Robinhood or Thinkorswim? Ooh, it's not even close, Owen. Not even close. If this was the middle line, if this was the midpoint, and up here was TOS, and down here was Robinhood, here's how much I shift towards TOS. Like, I would just be like, eh. There'd be no Robinhood to be had. Yeah. Robinhood is like my least favorite platform out there. You asked the wrong question. No, it was a good question, but it is like my least favorite. Maybe besides Moo Moo. Yeah, Midnight knew. Adam says, why don't you like it? Number one, Robinhood has like the worst fills out of like any other broker. Number one, their fill times are very slow. Number two, the fills are just terrible. Like if you did the same trade on Thinkorswim or, you know, Tasty Trade or something like that, you'd get a much better fill price usually. So kind of sucks, you know, in the long term for that. But whenever you're thinking about options in general, my big thing is like, look, if you're day trading, you want these orders to go out and you want them to come back quickly. A lot of times Robinhood has issues. Like you'll send the order, it might not fill right away, although it should be filling, even if it's a market order, you know, things of that nature. Get filled at weird prices even. It's strange, right? There's times where it just quits working on days where there's a lot of volume or something of that nature. Now Thinkorswim will have, sometimes it'll have an issue where there's too much volume or something and their server might go down or something like that. But that's my main few reasons there, Adam, without getting too deep into it. I also just think the platform just lacks a little bit. Like, for example, on Thinkorswim, like, I can plot up options and I can go look at the options in much better ways. Robinhood's came a long way now with Robinhood Legend and charting and things like that. Especially with charting, I used to say that they were like the worst because their charts were terrible. It was like stuff a 5th grader would look at. And I always tell people, like, look, stocks are so complicated. We don't want things to be super simplified. Unless you're just buying stock just to hold it. But if you're trying to like day trade options and stuff, Robinhood really just isn't the best option. But if you're just buying stocks or you're doing like more of a slower game, I think Robinhood's totally fine. Yeah, everyone says it's super easy, and I don't get it really either. Like, it's still semi-hard. Like, you still got to know to go to this thing and this and this and this. It's just that people researched it and they, I don't know, they like the way it looks. It looks kind of, I don't know. It looks like Fortnite or something. I don't know how to explain it. Thinkorswim looks like a super serious platform. I think it scares people, but it's not that hard. It's really not that difficult. Like here, like look at the chart. Like, it's not that crazy. You know, it has all the same settings like any other chart does. You can change the stuff around and colors and what goes on each axis and things, and you know, you got all the indicators, which is nice, which they call studies on here. SPY rejected 638, Elton said. SPY, 638 rejection. Yeah, there we go. That's a pretty big pullback. Right at resistance, too. Makes sense. Will SPY trade within the range, or will it end up breaking out and going? That is the question. The $1 million question, that is. I kind of lean on a good breakout at 638. $638. That would be pretty fire today. I'm almost leaning that we don't break it. Don't forget about the poll. How will stocks be moving following the inflation data report tomorrow? Will stocks pop or drop? Stocks pop high inflation and stocks drop high inflation are leading the charge. I thought stocks popping low inflation, stocks drop high inflation would be working. Looks like some people think the market will go up if inflation goes up. That's kind of interesting. Unless they're just confused in the poll. Which is possible given... Autumn's gonna try Thinkorswim. Let's go! I'm glad to hear that. Show us how you'd buy options. I can't really show you that, Steve, but what I'll say is that it's pretty easy. There's like 1 million videos out there. You can just go look one up. It'll show you very easily. Let me try and do something here. Let me try and, well, I don't know if I'm really allowed to do that either. We gotta be careful with what we're allowed to do, you know? Owen says, Tom, does UNH 15-minute chart look like a flag? Let's go see UNH. It looks almost like a flag on the 1 minute even. Flag on the 15 minute. Man, Owen, can you draw it out and throw it in Discord for me? So I can tell what you're talking about? I almost think you're looking at it in a way almost like this. But then again, I also feel like you might be looking at it more of like intraday, and you're looking at one more like this. Oh, 1 minute chart. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. I kind of figured you meant that one. Yeah, it does look like one, Owen. Yeah. It does. There could end up being a good breakout here with UNH, maybe above 258 or so. Fidelity also has good free education classes that run every day, all day of the week. I don't work for Fidelity. I just take the classes and whatever they offer. Hey, that's awesome. That's great that they offer that. All day long, too. That's pretty fire. I think Fidelity's platform's pretty solid. It's pretty close to Thinkorswim. I know a lot of people who use it. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Steve said, good call on SoFi, Jake. SOFI moving higher here. $23.15. Nice daily chart on SoFi, 4.32. That's pretty nice. I like the 2180 bounce. Looking great. How's Intel doing today again? Still pretty nice from open. They've been consolidating, but overall, great move today. Carlos said, Spy, listen to Tom, 638. Man, TradingView's having some issues today. We're going to go to Thinkorswim. Spy, 638. Right at resistance again. Let's see what happens. We're going to get another rejection. If they test it enough times, it'll probably end up breaking eventually. But so far on the 1 minute, nice red candle at first. That is a nice red candle right off the bat. Week says, I often get price improvement on the fills, which sounds like the opposite of Robinhood. Yeah. They probably have much better fill prices. That's pretty cool, though. Price improvement. That's nice. I think I have heard of that before, though. There's quite a few people in the StockedUp community that use Fidelity, too. CPI tomorrow is going to be crazy. 1 hour before market opens. Don't forget, be careful holding plays overnight into tomorrow. Looks like a lot of people are voting for stocks dropping with inflation being higher. That makes sense. I understand why that one's winning the poll, for sure, for sure. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to look into that a little bit after the stream, Wack. I like to hear they do that, though, Fidelity. I have seen their platform quite a bit. Some people I knew in real life actually used them, and, you know, I'd go to their house and look at it. $638, starting to reject down. That could get fun here in a little bit. How's Advanced Money Dispenser doing great again today? 1.78%. Wow. They continue to get it done. Bitmine popping 26.37%. This is a very nice move. I love to see it up around 65 bucks. That's actually what we were looking at last night on the video. 65 had a lot of sellers there, and it was good to get up and test that. Pretty clear though once 55 to 56 broke this morning. It actually used 56 as support in pre-market, so that was great. Love to see that. How's Robinhood? Nice jump in pre-market, but they did pull back, and then they recovered it open, but that recovery move has been pretty nice for anyone buying the dip up on Hood. I know we've been talking about them a little bit today. Good morning, Demure. Did you dig any holes this weekend? I'm hoping to hear about some good holes. I'm going to start calling you Shia LaBeouf. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. On Friday you did. There we go. Ooh, Elton said fat red candle on SPY for the rocket back up. Do you think the SPY will rocket back up with the CPI data? Is that what you're kind of looking at? Brain. Use aftermarket pre-market levels for MU as a take profit area. Let's see. Pre-market, aftermarket as take profits. Yeah, up like right around 125.50. I do think that would be a good first target. If MU does start to run, you could probably sell out some there and maybe hold a little bit to see if it continues through or not. It does seem pretty hot today. Might be a little overextended though. Too bad that big move had to happen in pre-market. Let's see what really hit them there. The Q4 guidance. Wow. Damn. They upped their guidance by a lot. EPS got up by quite a bit, and goddamn, revenue got up a shit ton. They're expecting revenue now of 11.1 to 11.3 billion. Before, they were expecting 10.4 to 11 billion. So definitely above now, even on the low end. The high end here is almost 10 billion, or a billion, I mean, over the estimate. That's pretty big. At least the estimate on the lower end, that was. Still. Guidance reflects improved pricing, particularly in DRAM, and strong execution. Damn. AI chip demand. I like to hear that. Let's go. Let's go, MU. These guys might be an outlier over the next few months if they could continue, you know. They might start to look like Palantir. Something crazy like that again. They were doing pretty good at the end of 2024. Or, I should say, the beginning of 24. Pretty crazy charts there. 50 votes in the poll. Get it going. Today's Wumbo action. Gotcha, Elton. Man, these charts are terrible today. They do not want to load. What's going on, TradingView? I'm gonna refresh it. Now I really broke it. It's funny how it doesn't want to work. What the hell's up with this? Whatever, we'll go to Thinkorswim. You guys can tell it's not my internet. Thinkorswim works just great. It's bad on your end too, Rick? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's not just me. Autumn said Nvidia popped up a little bit. Hate. 183.60. That is a good jump today. Of course, it's falling right where the SPY's dropping, right? SPY started dropping pretty rough here at 638. Demir says ETHW's moving. Bitwise Ethereum ETF. Pretty good movement today. It is actually the past 2 minutes it started jumping a little bit more. Let's go check ETHA. There we go. That one's moving well. 5.55%. SPY loaded up at least on TOS. Sorry, I meant now I'm getting all confused. It loaded it up on TradingView, not TOS. TOS always had it loaded up because it doesn't mess up. Very rarely. ETHA, new high of the day might be coming into play. Getting close. Let's check it on the daily. God damn. Those big money traders recently must be jumping up and down with joy. That is wild. They're on Quaaludes. Get the ludes. Steve says app loving. Crushing it since earnings. Yeah, that is huge. Man, app loving is really getting it done, Steve. Kind of surprising me, honestly, but making it happen. Have you ever heard that term before, Autumn? I sure hope so. Get the lewds. Yeah, you guys should know. Oh my gosh, Autumn doesn't know. Autumn, that means you didn't do your homework. You never did your homework? You got to stay after class now today. Let's see. We're going to watch a little video here because Autumn doesn't know the scene.
Hold on! What the fuck is going on out here? The jet skis just went overboard! Oh, Jesus Christ, are you okay? Yeah, I love you. But wait! A 20 feet high building! Don't allow us to the other fucking way! We can't! No! We'll get broadsided and tip over! I am a master diver, you hear that? I'm a master diver, no one's gonna fucking die! I got you. I got you, trust me, okay? I love you. I love you. Just hold on tight.
Where's the lewd?
Honey.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on, baby. Honey. Daddy! What? Hold on, baby. I don't want to die, Jordan! I did a lot of bad shit! I'm going to hell, Jordan! Fucked up! I fucked up so bad! Get the loons downstairs. What do you say? Get the loons. I can't go down there! There's flooding! There's 3 feet of water down there! I will not die sober! Get those...
Okay. YouTube's gonna kick my ass for that one. But I had to show the scene. It only lets you show 60 seconds and then it gets you, so. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome scene. It's like iconic there. Thank you, Circle, Coin, and Tom. Have a good one all. Let's go, my views. Circle, Coin, and Tom. I like it. Yeah, Circle 170. That is nice. A little rejection back down, 3.85%. Autumn said you guys are the best co-workers. Let's go, Autumn. Glad to hear that. We try. We try. Can I be unbanned from Discord? Probably not, unfortunately, Thick. I'm sorry. I don't even know what your name was on there. If you were banned, there's probably a good enough reason. All right, how about this? I'll put it on my to-do list, and you can check back tomorrow, local host. I'll check on it. It might have been. That probably is exactly why. Ahmad said Tesla at a 355. 355. You know, it's actually breaking above it and out of a huge wedge here in the short term. 355 is nice. I like that resistance overhead. $355. You know, that's a nice level right there. I could actually see higher than 355 if Tesla goes on a true run. I think it would be pretty tough to get all the way up there, though. Watch out for 350. That might be a good spot for another lower high to start to form. What's up, Jane? Good morning, good morning. Check on Disney again. Nice, falling down. I actually like Disney to the downside right now, guys. Watch out. Disney's breaking below key support. That's a good drop here by Disney. That's a pretty good drop there by Disney. I know you might not want to see it down, but that's what we're looking at here. What does the stocked up options course teach about? Yeah, the intermediate one. Essentially, it teaches you like what options are, like how to look at the options chain, maybe like options Greeks, things like that. It doesn't get too deep into like spread trading or cash secured puts or iron condors or butterflies or, you know, things like that. Those are covered more in the advanced options course. The intermediate options course is more of like, okay, what are options? How do they work? Maybe some Greeks, theta decay, things of that nature. ETHA is moving, Joe Papa said. There we go. It's actually rejecting at the highs of pre-market. It's kind of weird. That sucks. I was hoping for a better breakout there, Joe. It did actually fall back down a little bit. I did a small trade today for $50 gain. It was just a little scalp at open, nothing crazy. I want to save money for after hours. There you go. Midnight said, I'm trying to look for ways to learn more on how to look at certain stocks, help make decisions, like key factors, I guess. I don't know, I feel like I guess wrong a lot of the time. I will say, Midnight, I mean, a lot of the trading styles differ, of course. So some things that work for some people might not work for others. But something that I really like to look at is more of like support and resistance lines, right? Like with SPY, like, look, it's just pretty much trading between two very nice supports and resistances today, being 638 and 638, 630, to 637. So if we start to trade underneath like 630, 680 here, you know, maybe look at a little put opportunity. You know, that you don't have to catch the whole entire move down. You don't need to hold it all day. Nothing like that. If we do start to see a sell-off, you know, you just try to catch a few of the candles down. Maybe you can run something like what we like to call the CSR strategy, candle snap rule, where essentially what you'll do is you'll use the 5-minute candles and you'll allow them to fall down. But if we do see a candle move back in the opposite direction, if it breaks the previous candle, then you would cut out. That's called the candle snap rule. You can learn more about it in the trading floor. Yeah, we always have a lot of plays in the nightly videos too, Jane. Good point. Tessie trying to continue on the trend. I feel like this is a tough spot for Tesla. I bet a lot of people are looking for a better breakout opportunity coming into play. For like a possible run. Like 345 overhead. What a break. That would be awesome by Tessie. It's setting up for a possible move like that, though. Which would be perfect today. I'm sure people would be very excited. ETHA, love that daily. SPY's trying to bounce now around the lower portion of the range. Nvidia, we haven't checked on them in a few minutes. Ooh, right at the high of the day. They just made a new one by a little bit. Might be getting a good continuation going here. Nice jump by them. AMD was on fire today. Looks like they just slowed down at 179. Pretty big slowdown for AMD. Bit weird.
You by the fire. Listen, listen. There's something I must confide. I know I said that it'd be fine. I know I made it look like it'd be alright. But I think I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out.
TTD is way oversold.
You can
Tom, do you ever switch between 5 and 15-minute candles to get a better perspective? No. Well, I shouldn't say no. You said, or is that recipe for worse risk management? That doesn't really make for worse risk management. I think that switching between multiple time frames is awesome, Weck. Everybody always asks me that, and they don't ask it in the way you asked it, but is regarding time frames. They go, Tom, what time frame should I trade on? Should I use a 1-minute chart, 5, 15, hour? What should I use? I always say, look, use multiple, right? It's not that hard to just say, okay, you know, we're looking at the TTD here, the trade desk. You know, you look at a 1 minute, you zoom it out. I mean, you obviously can't see like as much data here on the screen, right? So you go to maybe a 10-day, 30-minute. You know, you look at, okay, now you can see a lot more, right? Like 180-day, 15-minute. Like I'm a huge fan of being somebody that checks multiple time frames for sure, because so many weird things go on in trading. Now this is a terrible example because TTD had this terrible drop off recently. But if we use like AMD or something, it's a much better example. Like we can identify some better support levels, like right here on this 15-minute chart. You know, we can tell that 167.20 is a very crucial level. 167.50, you know, multiple hits, multiple bounces. We can see that. If we were on like a 1-minute chart, we wouldn't see that. You know, we would just be like, okay, AMD's kind of running out of nowhere. Why is it running today? Well, there might be some news, but at the end of the day, I think a big reason why AMD's running is it bounced off a major support. A very big one, where we've had multiple bounces the past few trading days. Yeah. Good. You could identify that in pre-market even if you woke up early, you know, and you were looking around for opportunities. Identified that bounce in pre-market. Okay, I'm going to be more bullish when the market opens. If we break under that point, then, you know, I cut out, but I'm going to be more bullish. I like multiple time frames for sure. And then, you know, you look at the dailies even. I like the daily a lot too. I mean, I don't think that you could look at anything like that without the daily being there. What the? What the hell was I doing back there? It's like showing a trade from 2021 on here. That's funny. With AMD shares. That's hilarious. What a move, though, by AMD. Advanced Money Dispenser. The Q&A alone is more than worth it. Let's go. Glad to hear that, Autumn. Yeah, if you're interested in joining up in the trading floor, there is code Big Money going on right now. It'll save you some money on monthly, or sorry, on yearly. It'll take 100 off your yearly. Check out the link I'm sending in the chat, though, to check out everything that we have to offer. Any tips on understanding volatility? I guess the main thing with volatility that I would say is, number one, volatility is gonna be there, right? Whether it's a super volatile time like the beginning of April, or it's like now, more lower volatility, but you know, we are still seeing the market move, right? So whenever people say understanding volatility, like, it's like, okay, what volatility are we talking about? Are we just talking about normal day-to-day volatility, like how the market goes back and forth? Or are we talking about, like, true, like, implied volatility? Or are we just talking about volatility like the VIX index? Like, I think it's a lot different. Now, during more volatile times, like as in times where the market gets more bearish, you're going to probably see more, like, up and down price action, more larger moves. Even on the green days, you know, you'll probably see some pretty large green days as well. But I think really just understanding that the market is going to have points of volatility is just the main thing to know. I don't think that, like, There's nothing like where you're gonna like come out of nowhere and you're gonna just like be like, okay, I understand volatility now, and you're gonna go out and win a ton of trades because of volatility. I don't think that that's necessarily what is gonna be going on there, but I do think that understanding how implied volatility works for options sakes, and then number two, how just that the market's simply gonna be volatile and that there's gonna be back and forth action that doesn't always make sense, right? Like everyone's always like, Tom, why did the market fall today? What's the news? And I'm like, oh my God, another what's the news question. Like, please. It's like, holy crap. The market just moves sometimes, you know, even if there was news, it still comes down to that, okay, at the end of the day, there was more demand than there was supply, right? That's really it. Contrarian people are super annoying, but I often wonder if they would make good traders as they are annoying me. What? I use TradingView and Thinkorswim, hack. But mainly TradingView. Yeah, Weck, that could be a conversation that goes on for a long time. I would say do a little bit of research on implied volatility and some of the Greeks, and I think that you'll understand how it works a bit more in an option sense. No problem. SPY starting to break through the lower end of the range. 630, 680, but it actually popped right back through and is now holding. What the hell? This is a weird move out of the SPY. Oh, a month. I was like, a motion of the floor. What? You ended up getting a month of the floor. Nice. All right. Make sure you see the event information channel, Midnight. That'll show you where the questions are. Midnight, what's your name on Discord, by the way? I feel like I should know it. Muffin. Ah. Nice. Is that like a setting I have to change, Carlos said. He said, can you see the charts after hours in TradingView? I only see the price, he says. Yeah, 100%. Like here. This is SPY and all of after hours from Friday in this blue box. I think you just have to go to some settings, that's all. Honestly, it's probably better to Google it. Let's see, if you just right click, you go to settings. You go to trading? Yeah, trading. No, not trading. It's one of these. Or it's somewhere here. Where the hell is it now? Oh, right here, session. Data modification. So you go to symbol, data modification, session, extended trading hours. That's what you would do. Bottom right corner, RTH to ETH. Oh, gotcha. I didn't even realize it was down there. They got things all over these platforms. Tesla sitting around that 343 resistance. Not really breaking out here, though. Come on, Tessie, let's get it going. Oh, no, yeah. I knew it once you said muffin, Midnight, for sure, for sure. Check out QBTS, Hack says. D-Wave, pulled back here. Let's look at the earnings for this week. It's quite a bit. Tonight and after hours, Big Bear, Oklo, ASTS, Archer Aviation. Let's go look at Archer and Oklo, ACHR. Archer Aviation. They're actually quite low compared to recent highs, but they're still pretty overextended, I'd say, in the grand scheme of things. If they have a good report, it's exactly what they need, but if they end up breaking support here, it's going to be scary. That's a pretty weird chart on Archer. Oklo is pretty high. I think it's going to be tough for them to continue this trend, but they are in that type of sector with like clean energy, nuclear energy, things of that nature. Hack might play earnings. Which one? I think you're going to play Pennant Park Investment Corp. PNNT. Pennant. This is good. This is your favorite stock, I heard. Oh my gosh. What great performance over the past 13 years. No, I heard you were playing Pennant, not Oklo. Oklo. Just be careful, of course. I know you know, though. You've been around long enough, Hack. That's interesting, Weck. I mean, they're not there anymore. I'm not sure. I think that's a stretch, Weck. On the fundamental side, but their fundamental side could just be good if it's a good business, you know, so we'll see how it goes. It's interesting to think about. Now if he came back, then maybe. Made 900 today on QBTS short. D-Wave Quantum. Nice. 900 is pretty solid, Hack. Especially on a quick like scout play like on QBTS. Not bad, not bad. I like that. We'll throw some dubs in the chat there. Hey, what's up, Midnight? Make sure you check out the Getting Started channel. But if you have questions, check out the Event Information channel. Event Information, you can post up a few questions there. Try not to post up too many, because, you know, we got to cover everyone's, but definitely try to Get some good ones in there for sure. Feel free to put multiple questions in one, if that makes sense, right? Like, one question could be like 3 sentences long, or like a paragraph maybe, or something. If you have a lot that's going on. Seems to be the way things are going. Mostly just options hack. Futures, maybe a few trades a year. Not very often, though. SPY update? SPY bounced off the lower end of the range. 630, 680, 637. Still holding. It's just not breaking down. It's continuing to be flat ahead of CPI tomorrow. I think traders are a bit skeptical on CPI data. CPI is worrying people out there. I usually go with stocks that had an ATR above 3 and beta test at least above 1. All right. Hopefully CPI is not that bad, Hack said. I know, right? People are very worried about it. Watch out. I think the SPY could sell off a bit today ahead of tomorrow. I don't really see it breaking above 638 myself. I usually go with stocks that had an ATR above 3. That SPY might make a new low of the day here. Come on, SPY, let's see it. Looks pretty tough in where it is right now. Very stuck. The QQQ is dropping as well. Let's go check NVIDIA again then. Pulling back, AMD. Still up. Microsoft. Quite well, actually. How's the Mag 7? NVIDIA's starting to pull back pretty hard. That's probably weighing on the Q. QQQ still well above its low of the day, though. SPY's like right at its low of the day. Amazon in the bottom right starting to turn over a little harder. I'm surprised they haven't tried to do that yet, Hugo. I guess the EU does with all their EU stuff, but then again, maybe the US is larger than EU altogether. I'm curious how it'll be.
Jack it up.
Have a look at Zom, Ahmad said. XOM. That one works. Sitting around 106 right now. Watching for a bit of a breakdown to possibly come into play. It does seem like it's finding some support, though. Look at Zom on the daily chart. It is like straddling a major level where in the past it bounced off of here multiple times, and it's kind of sitting there right now again. This is going to be tough. On the daily, it looks like it wants to break down, though. This looks brutal in the price action. Wow, it might hold up intraday, but that looks tough. Tough there. Yeah, you said the daily? There we go. I appreciate you too, Hack. We're probably going to call the stream like right around here. So I appreciate everybody joining up today. We might try to do a little round of Tetris really quick. It's been a little while since we've done some Tetris up in here, but I'm feeling it today. Let's watch Tetris and Tesla at the same time. Here we go. Tom's doing bad on the Tetris already. We were watching that show Tires last night. It's pretty good. Boom, we're making it work. Say, we're becoming a pro at this now. Oh. Quit giving me these L's, game. Tetris is screwing me right now. There we go. Just needed some luck. This stuff lasts forever. I am killing it though, yeah. I just need to get some like combos built up now. Holy crap, it started going fast.
Back from the dead.
Oh no, it's going too quick now. This is getting hard. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mad
No.
with this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun.
We're getting pretty good though.
Are you ready?
Alright.
Let's go.
Now we're back from the dead.
Shoot.
We're back from the dead.
Oh, this is a tough one.
Hell yeah.
I need like one more like long one or we're done. We got the long one. Two long ones. It's over now though. It's too late. Too little, too late, game. 43. All while Tesla stood there and did nothing. You'll do nothing, Tesla, in the words of Conor McGregor. Pretty interesting wedge forming, though. Tesla kind of looks like it wants to go on a little run here. Looks pretty decent, actually. Steve said, holy intel, when are they supposed to meet? I'm not totally sure there. I'm going to be watching the news, though, close today on that one. Trump just signed some executive orders to deal with crime in D.C., they said.
We're back from the dead.
Wow. Very interesting. The Home Rule Act got invoked. Okay.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty insane. Alrighty, guys. We're going to call the stream there. I appreciate everybody for joining up today, watching us play Tetris. No. Mag 7's actually done pretty well today. I know SPY ended up pulling back a little bit, but Some of these stocks have made good recoveries, at least over the past few minutes. Tesla, most notably, is one of the more stronger stocks today. Nvidia, Amazon, kind of negative. So a bit mixed there. SPY has been all across the board. It fell down to 636.50, 636.60, popped back up now. Right back in the middle of that range again. Very slow today. Don't be surprised if it's slow today. I had that same thought, Autumn. I'm not quite sure it's the same, but it seemed kind of like that. Alrighty, guys. See you later. Have a great one. Don't forget to check out the link that I'm sending in the chat if you want to join the trading floor. Use code BIGMONEY for a discount on the yearly. Also, it's cheaper to use our link. Let's go. See you later.